I need help, boss.
Stands up and says it louder. He goes, I have a really big penis.
We're the NSAA. We're never serious about anything except grip ball.
I have drifted an aircraft carrier.
What?
To an extent, but you'd be out there alone as fuck. There's no.
Just bumping into people by osmosis of dopeness, you know?
And we're live.
All right. Welcome, everybody, back to the Happy Hoodlums podcast. It's your boy, Kemper Woodruff. Got a very powerful Zack Sampson. We wouldn't even be here tonight if we didn't have Josh on the ones and twos, trying to bring this to you live and keep this this podcast improving. I want to just apologize in advance because I've been running into some health issues and stuff regarding my head and things because I've had a lot of concussions in my life and we don't really know what's going on right now. I'm going to bring this to you live. But basically, I took a flight to New York and then I came back. Something about the pressures fucked up my whole symptoms, you know. And so when I got back from fire season last year, I had a hella bad concussion and I'm now experiencing more symptoms than I did then, and we don't know what's going on. So if I'm kind of my face is darker from the build of the hat and things like that, I didn't want to stop this podcast because really I want to let you guys know this is from the heart. Like I don't even have my little screen thing. I got it on 1% just so I could see Zack and frame myself in. And, you know, I'm doing it without even the screen being turned on. I had to turn my brightness all the way down because it's just a lot, you know. So I did what I could just to get through work. But now I'm here, and now it's playtime. And so I'm going to give y'all what I got. But I want to first and foremost just let y'all know, fuck trying to only show the best side of shit to the world because, you know, trauma hits you when you are so unexpecting, you know, and the thing about it is you never know that you're the perfect storm until all of a sudden it's right here, like a fucking tornado in your mind. And so that's kind of what I'm dealing with. There's a lot of things that I could get into, but anyone that had a concussion knows, or who's had one, they understand a lot of the shit that comes behind it, and just even trying to find words sometimes can be hard. So just bear with me, but I'm gonna give y'all what I got. And yeah, guys, I know that I don't mean to shit on the rainbow that you guys got going on in your lives, you know, because my sense of humor ain't broken, even though I'm dealing with some shit that I wouldn't want anyone to have to deal with right now. But life is always worth it, man, first and foremost. And there's always something that you can laugh about or find simple joys. Like sometimes you got to laugh at yourself when you're falling down and just get the fuck back up. And there's a time to be tender and a time to talk gentle, and there's another time to just give it your all for whatever it's worth and see where the fuck that takes you. Because
be an absolute savage.
Yeah, what would hurt me more is to know that I put my heart into this and really have tried to give you guys everything that I can in terms of what has allowed me to grow. And I'm not going to stop growing on screen in front of you guys, even if it hurts sometimes. You know, from my dad dying this year, some of the other shit that I've been dealing with and especially now health-wise, shit, I thought going to physical therapy was a lot. But, you know, fucking goddamn it. Sorry, fucking loud noises. They make me angry quick. Like short-term memory shit where you're kind of just goes blank. It's kind of annoying and hard to deal with, and it's kind of sad and it's frustrating for someone like me, whose speech is kind of like, that's my everything, you know, like anyone that knows me knows if I'm really having a good time, I probably got a drink or two in me and I'm rapping somewhere. um, so tonight it's not going to be the happiest hoodlum podcast, but the shit presses on.
You don't always gotta be
Um,
happy, bro.
yeah,
It's
you know,
like,
and I think
yeah.
that that's kind of what this is about tonight. Um, just being resilient if you can't be happy all the time.
Sometimes you just have to be, and that's it. You
Yeah.
know?
And you know, I mean, there's funny things that happen. Like my coworkers be coming around to all the computers I got to work on throughout the day, and because I have to turn the brightness all the way down, they're like, "Shit, it's like a Game Boy One when I walk up to this. I can't see shit," you know?
Yeah. Them shits were hard to see, bro.
Yeah,
I remember like the little light that you would plug in to it to have it like shine down on it to be able to see it at night. Shit was hard.
yeah, dude. That was the OG shit. And
Yeah.
you'd have to fuck somebody up or trade them something if they
Yeah.
had a yellow one and you had a
Yeah.
red one. You
Or the
just,
clear one. The clear one was popular for a while.
yeah.
My brother had
I
a
see
Game
when
Boy Color.
I think I'm like a couple years or like a year older than you. So when I was little, there was only the red and the blue one, I think.
Yeah, you're like 2 years older than me.
And there was a big one too. There was a fat ass one that was like, I think it was gray
It was
or
like the
something.
other way around. It was like a PSP looking kind of thing.
No, 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 no. It wasn't sideways.
Oh, it
It
was
was
just
big. It
massive.
was like, and it was like thick, like a book.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah. That was like the original.
Fuck.
Um, and then they shrunk them down when Pokemon came out.
Yeah.
Um, when I was little, that was like one of my favorite shits. But um, honestly, man, like sometimes life will kick your fucking ass, but there's always it really is a game, you know, of understanding within yourself. I don't know what I'm saying. You guys gotta take it from here.
Hey,
I'll play off you.
I mean, being able to understand yourself is huge, you know? And like if you don't take the time to be able to figure out why you do things or why you think a certain way, you know, you'll never be able to really like adjust or change who you are if you feel like you need to change. You know, like if you can't figure out why you get angry at something, how are you ever gonna not get angry at that? You know?
Well, you know, I think what I've come to learn is that like these self-talk is such a skill. It is the skill set
Yeah.
of life, you know, that and creativity and just um, unrelenting unrelenting willpower, you know, where it's like if you fuck with something, see that bitch through to the end, you know. And if
Facts.
the bottom falls out, you better fucking yabba dabba do walk your car wherever you're going. Yeah, straight up, bro. How your feet hurt. Because I'm here to tell you, you know, like when you feel like you're losing your marbles, and sometimes you just fucking might be. The world don't care. Ain't nobody coming to save you, but and if you do have someone that's down for you like that, you're lucky. And like what I see is like this platform is so much bigger than any of us. Then it's so much about a human experience, you know, in raw, you know, definition, you know, with all the contrast that you could ask for, and you know what is day without night? Because like you don't get to choose what makes you who you are. This path but these experiences you have form this bridge that's like for other people too. And learning how to talk to yourself, like one of the things about the firearms industry, I was listening to a guy and he was saying, your training only goes so far. It only goes as far as until you have to use it, and then you got what you got. And I've experienced a lot of loss in my life and a lot of gains and a lot of wins that that come behind that, and wins that might go unnoticed. Like I never thought losing my best friend uh in the physical would give me a spiritual best friend, and a spiritual counsel. Because like after I asked God to help me and I just started seeking healing, in books and any kind of medium, in writing. um Sorry, I'm forgetting the other ways that I went about the shit, but you all this reading that I did and all this research, like had I not done that, when I find myself in these moments now where it's like I don't even know what I was thinking or what I was saying to you, and like going from like a week ago I was straight, like one of the most articulate people I ever encountered. Like, and that's some weird shit when it's yourself, you know? It's like one thing to love somebody and to lose that. But when you feel like you lost yourself in that process, like that's a motherfucker right there, bro. Like that's when you find out what kind of man or woman you are, And fuck that. I ain't putting that shit behind a curtain, bro, for nobody. Like, I am who the fuck I am, and like I'm gonna be on the other side of this one day, so I don't know why I have to go through what I'm going through right now with my brain and stuff. But there's an answer for that too, and a plan for that too, and I ain't never seen no coincidences. So I ain't gonna stop and like bow down to that shit, Like fuck that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things like that I could find an excuse for, but that's not who I want to be. I want to be someone who I choose to be, and I think that's a human thing. And I'm sorry, like, give me a second.
Bro, don't apologize.
I can't imagine what it's like to be someone on the outside really experiencing dementia type shit, but I can tell you from the inside that for life doesn't go away, and I find myself so happy and eager to do the most simplest shit like now. Like someone just asking me to go get something. And I know my balance feels like I'm all over the fucking place, when I'm just fucking standing still. Like just walking across the room and getting halfway there before that reality check hits me is like, that's a dub to me. And I'll take that for now until I'm all the way across that motherfucker. And I don't want to make this all about me, but this is the shit that I'm going through right now. And, it's really frustrating when there's no answer for it. And when they send you to somebody who should know, in theory, like, and you just hope that somebody knows, but nobody can tell you. And I think in that way, this is a metaphor for life. And there's a lot of people more worse off. There's people that ain't never read these books, that don't have self-talk, that don't know how to catch themselves when they're frustrated over something that they don't even know. Like I hear a noise, like go off. Say like I work in a gun store, right? I hear a shotgun rack, and I'm used to hearing that all the time, right? Now it happens, and it's like I have a visceral response to it where I'm like, stop it, But rather than do that, I catch myself, in that moment of like, ah, And I look at it and I go, slow down. What are you focused on? And is this action even beneficial to the situation? Is it something that would make it better or worse? And I think there's a lot of people that find themselves in this mode of just reacting to life, and they've been hit so many times, like a fucking Rocky movie, you know, and all they know how to do is just hit back, just swing back. Something hits you, bow, you just hit back, bow. Just as soon as it hits you, you hit back. And there's a time for that, that's survival, and there's a time to supersede that. Thoughts?
Well, I think that a lot of what you're saying is like super real, and a lot of people need to hear it. You know, especially in a time now where men's mental health is starting to become something more of being talked about, and a lot of men don't know how to be vulnerable like you are, right, like you're being right now, telling people how you feel, you know, literally crying on camera. A lot of dudes don't even cry in front of other people, or won't even cry in front of themselves, you know. And so I think that with the brand and with what you're bringing to everything, and then the way that we're trying to spread positivity and growth. Exactly.
Yeah.
See?
It's fucking
So
growth,
yeah,
bro. Fuck it.
you gotta be willing to grow as a human being in order to experience life in its fullest, you know. And um that's, for me, that's where you've come in a lot of ways, right? You've got me to do things and try new things that I have never done before, and I probably would have never done if I didn't meet you, you know. And so being willing to grow and being willing to experience those things, because they were so far out of what I was used to, so far away of what I grew up doing, you know. It was a huge leap, and it was really awesome. And so growth is extremely important to being able to live life in so many ways,
Yeah.
so many positive ways, and you could be missing out on so many cool things if you're unwilling to grow.
Yeah. And you know, like, I want to say, first of all, you know, like, sometimes tears ain't optional.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, and it took me listening. I'm so happy I listened. I can't remember this gentleman's name, but he had a cave of something. Anyways, he was on Joe Rogan, and he had a place in Chicago, I think it was, for kids, you know? It was
Yeah.
like an academy. Um, and I was watching this podcast, and I just remember thinking, like, yo, in a sense, like, I wish my dad would have handled me, um, or taught me some of the things that this dude was talking about. And not that, you know, and my dad passed away, so my dad gave me everything that he had in his wheelhouse to give, and it showed me where where a lot of men, because I hold my dad is such a man of integrity on the highest degree,
Yeah.
and discipline, that it's like, I understand that even someone of the utmost integrity can have holes in their game plan, or in their, not have the right tools in their toolbox. And I don't know what I was saying. This gentleman, it'll come.
His last name was like Wilson or Williams or something like that. He's like
Yeah, yeah.
a black
It
dude
was,
with a
it was
beard.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
Wilson.
yeah. I was trying to find his name. I couldn't find it on Instagram, but
I just remember him talking about how tears have cortisol in it. Tears contain cortisol,
the stress hormone, for anyone
which
who
is your
doesn't
stress
know.
hormone. And when that shit hits you, you gotta let that shit out, you know. And like, if you don't, you're literally like trapping something toxic inside of you, you
On
know. Because I wasn't always this. I used to fight that shit all till the end of me, you know.
yeah.
And life just kept fucking breaking me. I get up, and it costs you something to believe again, bro. That's what people don't want to tell you, you know. Like, you fail your way to success. That's something Steve Harvey said. But it's a cycle of continual breaking, and finding being great is finding that next intersection of your breaking point and your willpower and purpose and what you believe. And you know, sometimes you got to search for that shit. And you better dream, because whether you dream or you don't, you still gonna get one way or the other. Don't really escape that shit. But some people break themselves to grow, and some people break themselves because they're broken.
You know, in orchards, they prune trees, and so what that means is they clip off certain parts of the tree so that the tree grows in a way that produces fruit.
Yeah, that's
And
all in the Bible too.
we got to prune ourselves sometimes. And back to that cortisol in the tears thing. I seen this thing a long time ago that like examined uh, what tears looked like when they um, under certain conditions. So they were tears from different emotions basically, and each one kind of had a different kind of structure
Structure.
to it. Yeah. And it was really interesting, and so it made me
Hmm.
think more of like, okay, so our emotions aren't just something we're feeling, it's literally something our body's going through.
Mm.
And it's a fact because cortisol is created by the body and then it's put through the body. So it's any emotion is clearly something that our whole body is going through, not just our brain. And so when we want to talk about like personal growth and growing and to be happy and taking care of yourself, you also need to take care of your body. It's not just, you know, the spiritual part that in spirituality, there's a mind and a body part.
Hmm.
And you got to take care of both in order to actually move forward and grow. Um, and so I feel like a lot of people they prioritize that mental part and they take care of themselves and or I guess they might take care of themselves a little bit, but they don't necessarily give themselves the full package of what they could be getting by just expanding a little bit more into healthier eating or more physical activity, or if you are already super physically active, adding in like physical exercise, things like that to test your body, to strengthen your body, because
Yeah.
we're always doing things to strengthen our minds, you know, constantly working or reading if you like reading, constantly thinking of new ideas if you're a creative person, talking to new people, you know. So we're always working our minds. Um,
Yeah.
our bodies
And
don't
I
get
think
that as much.
the strange thing is like the underpinning of all that activity, be it mental or physical, is um the spiritual, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's why I say like belief, you know, to find belief and faith, you know, that what you're doing, what you're thinking is gonna transpire in some way, you know, and it's gonna grow. And it isn't just what you see it as right now, you know, that it's more than that, that it's valuable.
Yeah.
Um, that's huge because like everything that you're doing needs to have the right intention behind it and motivational factors and you know, um, I think it's interesting because you know this is like one of the first times in my adult life truly that like despite having headaches like a motherfucker. And I've had a headache for like a whole year since that car accident, you know?
Yeah.
And I just thought that was going to be a part of my life forever, you know? And shit, it might be. But, you know, once you layered all these other things on top of it, like this is the first time that I've ever really been like, fuck that. I need to know what's happening in my body on such a level. I'm completely sober of everything. I won't even take a motherfucking ibuprofen or nothing, you know? The most I've taken is like a melatonin at night to try and sleep because I'm sleeping so little, you know, because I wake up having these crazy ass nightmares that are so real, you know? And I wake up and it's like, I feel like I imagine waking up and feeling like you just got kicked in the head like fucking 30 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I wake up feeling like I just fresh got knocked out, you know? And that's coming from somebody who's been knocked the fuck out. And I used to laugh at that shit, you know, on some real shit. Like everyone talks about like just be a man. Like, bro, I lived that shit. Like I really was like fuck that. I've experienced dubs and a whole lot of vicious L's sometimes, you know. Just like I don't know if y'all can see this, but like I've been thrown into walls where my head's been bust open.
Fuck.
And my eye socket broke. I've been hitting the same eye with a golf club while I was riding my bike when I was little in an accident. Got hit off my bike. Bow. You know, car accident that should have been fatal when I was like 4 years old, where I'm not wearing a car seat. Countless, you know, boxing, football, fights, all these different kind of things. I've been hit with sticks. I was like the perfect storm in a sense, you know, that like when this um sorry. Um, what was I saying?
You were talking about how um your life growing up was a lot of trauma, and you had you'd been hit with a lot of different things, sticks, and that you were.
Okay, when I got in that car accident,
Yeah.
when I got in that fucking car accident, bro, like even after that, like my bell was rung. All I did, I my shit was so shook up, but I was out of it, you know. And I was like almost to my friend's house. I was like, I just need to get somewhere where I know I'm safe, you know. So I went over there, and I was experiencing after that super headaches and of course neck spasms and stuff. They were telling me this residual headache was from the spasms, and I couldn't remember words for or like form sentences as well for like the first 4 months, but then that kind of died off, right? So I thought it was just muscle shit causing this headache, and I guess what I'm getting at is like when I got on that plane, you know, and it changed everything. When I got off, like I didn't realize how serious brain injuries and things like that are. And you know, by the grace of God, I've had these MRIs that show my brain itself has like healed, you know, because they were like, do I have a stroke? Did I have a stroke, or am I having a stroke? Did I have a brain bleed or a tumor or something causing all the shit? And it wasn't none of that. You know, we still don't know what the fuck it is. All I know is something in the pressure difference fucked my shit up, right?
Yeah.
Like it literally felt on the second, for anyone that knows. I went to New York, and when I was coming back, like second flight, all I can describe it as, it wasn't my thoughts, but literally it felt like my brain, someone took a spoon and just stirred my fucking brain. And like I woke up to it because I fell asleep, and I woke up and it felt like my brain was just stirring in my head, bro, like fucking soup. And my chest was like pounding, you know? And it's the freakiest fucking sensation. And I say this because it's like I really was always of that philosophy like just be a man and like laugh that shit off. Like it ain't nothing. And I truly believe, like in my heart of hearts, like if I don't mind, it don't matter. Like if my focus is good enough, if I'm having enough fun or something, if something is pure enough and I'm like in alignment, it's like this shit. I have this moment where I'm like good, I'm straight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as like it's like it can break in an instant, you know? Um and that's not going to be forever, but it taught me that like there is something to it. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to put my finger on it. There's something to like energy that people can draw out of you or that you can find within yourself. Um and I give it all to God. Like I don't know what it is, bro. I really don't have an answer for it, and this has come from someone who I always got some shit to say. Shit done fucking stumped me. But you know, like you gotta take your health like seriously, you know, and like everyone's like, yeah, no shit, dumbass. Like see where that gets you, but like, you know, there's a balance
Yeah.
between not being a fucking wiener and you know being uh like conscious of how of valuing yourself.
Yes. I
I think
heard
as
this
a man,
term.
it's a worthiness thing.
Yeah. I heard this term
It
for the
really,
first time ever recently, and it
huh?
was conscious human. Like someone said in a sentence, I wanted to be a conscious human, so I thought of questions I was going to ask this person during our conversation before we had the conversation. So like an example would be like me coming to the podcast having already prepared things that I wanted to talk about, right?
Mm.
So if that wasn't something that I already did, or if I even had to worry about having topics to talk about, that would be something that I would need to add in, is being like, all right, I need to start thinking about the things that I do in my life a little bit more rather than just doing them on repeat. You know, it's
Mm.
like so many people work, sleep, friends, hang out, and then repeat that same cycle without thinking about what they could do for their life to be more, to feel better, to be more affectionate with people, to be happier, or to let things go more, to be like,
Mm.
to be able to really enjoy life. And people don't, I mean, it's about being conscious of who you are and what you're thinking and what your next step is.
Yeah,
It's like,
and I think. Sorry, go on.
I was just basically saying people are kind of like apathetic and they're just zombies.
I think choices have become much more meaningful to me.
How so?
Um, because I've chosen to show up for a lot of people, and now I see who chooses to be there for me.
Yeah.
And not that that's like their responsibility, but just in a sense of um, investment, right?
Yeah.
And like I look at, I've said this before, but I think perspective is the most expensive free thing in the world, because what it costs you is your innocence. You know, it costs you something to experience.
Yeah.
And once you have that perspective, nobody can take that away from you. Like I'm so grateful for people. Like there's this dude, I can't remember his name, but he was the front desk guy this morning, and he was so gracious with me
Yeah.
in this place where it was like, you know, because these questions that they ask you, I didn't know concussions was like going to see fucking Dr. Phil. They'd be asking you about like,
Everything.
all right, before this, you felt like this. After this, like, bro, I'm telling you, they're like, are you satisfied with your sex life? Uh, are you lonely? Do you get aggravated? Um, are you frustrated with your ability to be independent? They just had all these questions that I was like, yo,
Those are some crazy.
I ain't ready for this shit.
Yeah, those are like some straight up questions.
I'd never really like sat down to ask like that. And for me to look at it at this time where in a way, like, I'm not, I don't want to say I look at myself as someone that's like crippled. I'll never see that's not who I see when I look in the mirror. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's not what I see. You know, and I think about my grandpa who was like a bodybuilder, right? And then he got dementia. It's like when he thought of himself, when he went to go do anything, he thought about himself like, I'm fucking Frank Ficara. You know what I mean? Like,
That's a badass fucking name. First of
I
all,
can lift a house. You know what I mean? If I need to, like, anything that I need, like, I'm sufficient. I can do that.
yeah,
I can make that happen. And it's like I look at myself in that same light. Like, I'm Kemper Harrison Woodruff. Like, when you
another
get me,
badass name.
when you got me as a friend, like, you got me as family. Like, you got a man that'll be with you till the, like, I'll fucking live, breathe, and die by you. You know what I mean? Like, and now I have to look at myself in that same way and understand that there are chinks in my armor. You know what I mean? There's places where I have an Achilles heel. And I never thought it would be in my mental faculties. And sure as fuck not this early. You know, and it ain't gonna be like this forever. I'm gonna figure this shit out. I don't know how, but there's something I can do. There's things I can do. I'm just being led to it right now, you know, and this is that freaky in between of people telling me, well, we don't know. And I'm like, well, I don't fucking know neither. So, I mean, all them, you know, I'm appreciative of everybody that's got letters behind their name, you know, and anyone that showed up believing they can make somebody else's situation better. Um, and that's some cool shit because you don't even know just how allowing someone to struggle freely can free them.
That was deep as fuck, bro. I want to say
Like,
thank you for everything that you just said, because you said so many amazing things that I don't think. I think you iterated them very well to the point that me touching on it wouldn't really do anything. And so I just want to say thank you because that was a lot of stuff that I also needed to hear.
thanks for listening. That's the real shit, you know, because, like, it's crazy. I just felt life come back in my voice, bro. Like, people, we lift each other up, you know?
Yeah.
It's so much bigger than this, you know? Like, this little experience, these moments that we have, you know? I look at it right now, and it's like there's a lot of things in my life that got me just in this position where I'm helpless to the process. Or like I gotta submit to the process, but I refuse to see myself as helpless. I guess can't see if you guys can see it or not because I got my screen blacked out still. But you know, it's kind of goofy. Some of the shit I've had to go through. I feel like that movie Memento with all the fuck. I'm living off of sticky notes and shit. They got me going to like 8 different kinds of therapy and shit. And I'm trying to work 40 hours a week, but I look at things as like this time's gonna pass regardless. You know, I had the opportunity, you know, and you were like, bro, if you need to take time to yourself, like take it. But I'm like, fuck that. I know how precious time is now. You know, and like, I know I'm gonna get better in my heart of hearts, but what if I fucking did get worse? You know? Like, what would eat at me more is to have not given that shot. You know? What if this is, you know, and I look at it like, bro, the devil is a lie. Like, if people come or not people, if situations and things come that keep knocking you down and keep trying to get in the way, it's like, bro, ain't nothing gonna stop my purpose. I must be getting closer. I must be learning how to do this when it seems like there's no point. It's purposeful in here. You know, it makes sense. Like, there is a point to it. And I don't know what I'm gonna go through later on in life or what you'll go through, but this shit right here is deep. You know, I look at people that make music and stuff, and they rap about stuff from their soul, stuff that crushed them, and they put it on center stage, and it's like, I want to be that. I just want to be that for somebody. And if I ain't that for nobody else, I'm gonna be that motherfucker for myself. Because that's who the fuck I am. And if anyone stumbles across this, if it never goes anywhere, and somebody ever find it, and then one person sees it, and I influence one person, like, that's cool. They gonna be like, he did that shit.
Well,
And
you got
nobody
at
knows.
least one, because you've influenced my life a lot. So,
Yeah.
and dude, that's crazy to think about because at first going through school, I wasn't your biggest fan. But you know what got me? I know the exact moment that I started fucking with you.
Was it my boyish charm?
We
You
were
want to touch?
we, we were sitting outside of class. This was our early morning class in
Yeah.
like the end of first year, and you I can't remember the lead up to this comment, but you said you were a perma stoner or you were perma stoned, and that shit killed me. And I was like, all right, I fuck with this dude, and yeah, and since then that's what changed my mind about you. I was like, I don't know, bro, this Kemper guy is pretty cool.
I kind of am. I'm all fuck. Hey, everyone's got a soft spot for a retard. You know what I mean?
Whoa, bro, you are not stupid, my guy. Relax.
I'm not saying I'm.
It's
Look,
okay.
all right. Also, for anyone that's mad about the R bombs, all right, you don't call retarded people retarded. There's no sense in that. What kind of scumbag would do that? But if you call a smart person a retard, that's fucking hilarious. Like,
You're very true. You're very
so
true.
fuck it. I might just be both though. I'm like a fucking retard savant. I'll figure it out. You give me a fucking.
You know, bro,
puzzle.
autistic people end up being really good at one fucking thing.
Well, I'm not talking about autistic people. Autistic people are all geniuses.
That's very true.
I'm talking about me being like, fucking. Hey, check it out. Never in my life have I been one of those people at like an art gallery to like sit there and be like,
What's the meaning?
if I was at the therapy place and I had to take a piss and I came out of the bathroom and this fucking painting on the wall done mesmerized my ass. I was stuck for like 10 minutes just looking at a painting in the hallway. I forgot
Damn.
what the fuck I was doing, bro. I'm just sitting there just like. So I don't know. I think in one sense, if I was looking at myself, I'd be like, this fucking retard here. But if I was knowing what I was experiencing, right? I was really like in this, like, I understand this painting. Like, they don't get it. They walk by this painting every time they take
It's
a
like,
piss.
oh,
I
it's just
doubt.
a fucking painting in a doctor's office.
They never spent 10 minutes mesmerized by the beautiful layers of artistry in this fucking
Yeah.
hospital hallway painting. But
Just a
me,
random place. I'm the only one who gets this shit.
I understand the finer things of life.
Oh shit. I fucking love it, bro.
I guess
Fucking
that's a
awesome.
great note to fucking end this one on.
Yeah, it is, bro.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in.
For real.
Zack, Josh, thank you for being here. And shout out to Josh. I want to let y'all know our brother Josh, the most official
Yep.
Happy Hoodlums member of them all, the third man on our squad officially, has been working and thinking, and him and Zack have been trying to make this better and better. Because I'm not gonna lie, I just been showing up to do this. This is all I got right now is my enthusiasm to be here, and they've been really working behind the scenes to keep this motherfucker getting better and better. And y'all you ain't seen nothing yet. But baby, you just ain't seen none of nothing yet. Just wait. I'm full of like good rock and fucking no dirt and just all them rocks in your grill. You know what I'm saying? So, just wait till I get to see Johnny Dang. So we love you guys. Till next time.
Later.
We're out.